Okay, let's see how this goes. I won't really know how something like FF is going to play until I try out, but I wanted to see how it was feeling on Balatro first. Plus, I was in the mood to play Balatro. Yeah, doesn't seem to be losing much. Let's just, I know what to do. Do I want to do anything right now? Okay, check that out. Yeah, smooth as hell. Okay, alright. Come on, game. Yeah, screw it. Oh, but I didn't do that first. Alas. Okay. No, I want those to... Yeah, no, for sure. Oh, that's concerning. I really gotta upgrade Flush 5 if that's not doing enough. Yeah. No. Oh, I'm a fool. That's not good. I don't know that retriggering them is going to help. I mean, it can't hurt.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
Kinda lame.
I have a feeling I am screwed.
That's not good.
Okay, that is Flush 5. Whatever. Gotta go with it and see. Alright. Yeah, okay, I can make this.
I went to my dad's house for his annual Halloween party. And he decided to dress up as a fortune teller and pass out fortunes for everybody.
Okay.
which he AI generated.
Oh, okay, all right.
Very
Did he
disappointed in him?
did he let them be dumb?
He says that he modified them, some of them to work better.
Okay, so they weren't. I would have generated, even if I modified them, I would have left them, like I would have told it to generate ones that just seem really weird or silly. I feel like that would be really good.
No, they were bland and ordinary. Like they were a little bit silly, but not like.
I know what I want.
Not very good.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I was disappointed because if he asked me, I could have done that for him. It would have been really easy and rewarding, and we could have bonded. But no, we had to automate that experience.
Who wants bonding? I'm joking.
I think it's a thing that kinksters do where they tie each other up when they're having sex.
Very good. I don't want any of these.
Today I'm really sleepy and I have the sniffles.
Okay, game is being a dick. There are currently 27 cards left in the deck, and 7 of them are aces of spades. Because it wasn't giving me any, because it's being very annoying. Thank you.
No, I will not do that.
Well, I want to let this run again, though. I actually do. Because I want as many as possible. Well, just in case this isn't actually going to win. Oh, I don't know why I thought it wouldn't. I mean, I guess just in case this, you know, just in case. So, I guess that's still a good idea, but... I didn't do the first hand thing. I am annoyed at myself. I gotta do this. Ah, yes! It's a hand of 8 or 9 cards. I'm not sure what it is right now exactly. The card that I was trying to decide if I wanted to do is destroy 5 of them at random and get $20. And one of those cards I did not want to destroy. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll just do it. And I didn't destroy it. And I still got rid of 5 others. So very, very good.
Lucky.
Definitely. Oh. Yeah, I gotta do that. Goodbye. Yes. Turn 2 of you into malt, I think.
I have apartment came with a non-optional washing machine. And
Non-optional sounds annoying.
yeah, because it makes me, I feel like I'm paying extra when I didn't need it. But that's how economics works, you know. You can't buy just what you need. You have to buy whatever other people decide you're going to buy, and then use what you can. I'm not used to how big a standard washing machine is,
Oh?
as I keep loading more clothes into it, and it's still not full.
Oh, yes, yes.
Whereas with mine, it's pretty small, so it gets full really quickly.
Yes. Excellent. No, I didn't. I skipped the thing again. I'm hurting myself by not taking advantage of something that I need to be doing every round.
I miss my dad's old washing machine, because it seems like modern washing machines will only run at all in any way if the lid is closed and latched completely.
Yep.
Whereas with the old one, it would start as soon as you push the button. It just wouldn't run the spin cycle if the lid was open, which meant I could turn it on and then and then while it was filling, I could put the laundry in. It was a lot more time efficient. But I don't get to enjoy that anymore. It makes sense with the sideways one, because if it ran, all the laundry would fall out. But this is a top-loading one. Makes no sense. Oh no, it will slowly rotate. How dangerous. I forgot. Did we talk about the Furiosa movie already?
Like forever ago, maybe?
Forever ago.
Okay, then I guess not.
Yeah, I only saw it last month.
Oh, so yeah, like a month ago then, probably. I don't specifically remember it though, so maybe not.
Oh.
I had no.
You remember I
interest in
said it should have been a video game?
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
I did the thing this
sad.
time.
Haven't
Oh,
done anything else interesting since then.
Killed my money as a result, but oh well. There we go. Yep.
I hate it when this happens. It was fine during the day, and then like starting at like 4:30. Well, like this.
I think I actually want this one. Come on, Spectre, fail me. Yes! Excellent! was extremely good.
I live next to a Mexican grocery store, and I investigated the other day to see what they had. Did you know that Coke comes in 3-liter bottles?
Probably, but obviously
I've
you don't
never
see that
seen
often.
those before. I was like, wait, why do they have 2 different sizes of 2-liter bottles? Is that an even bigger bottle? It was not cost efficient though. It was like $4 for the bottle. It was crazy. They also have it in a really big glass bottle. Which is also expensive, so I don't imagine they sell a lot of those. One of the rooms in my apartment smells like tobacco, as nobody disclosed to me that the previous resident smoked. And when I went to the office to complain about it, they said, we'll send out an email to the community reminding them not to smoke, which doesn't solve my problem at all in any way. And they're like, we're pretty sure it's just someone smoking outside your apartment. Like, do you smell it upstairs or out front? I had to repeat to them 3 times. It is inside my apartment in one specific room all the time. Not at a certain time of day, not out by the door on the porch. No. It's in this room. And so yesterday, a guy came and he sprayed air freshener on my HVAC filter and said that would fix it.
Wow. So I have noticed.
Yeah.
I have noticed.
So they sent me an email today with a survey. I'm very tempted to roast them on the survey.
I have noticed that it seems like it is more and more common for insurance, warranty, or landlord companies to find the absolute barest, cheapest that they can. I'm sure that's always been the case, but
yeah, the least they can do, and then do even less than that.
Right. The thing is, they seem to be doing it below a certain level at which I think the only reason they're doing that is because they know they can get away with it because people are too desperate for somewhere to live.
Yeah, they have a captive audience. So, and the way the laws are written, it would have to do absolutely nothing at all in order to be in any way liable. So if they're like, oh no, we sent a guy to fix the problem, then I'm done. I have no paddle. So yeah, they're not out to solve the problem that I'm having. They're out to solve the problem that I'm complaining.
Right.
Or actually, they're out to solve the problem that I have justification for my complaints. Even if I continue to complain, they don't have to do anything anymore because now they've done something. I'm gonna continue to complain though.
As long as you don't make me too mad.
I'm gonna go to the office when they're open and be like, guys, what you did absolutely nothing to solve the problem. And they also told me twice that they would send a guy with an ozone air purifier. And I that sounds like something that might actually be able to help, as far as I know. And when the guy came yesterday, I asked him, he sprayed the air freshener. I'm like, okay, so what about the ozone machine? He's like, what? What are you talking about? I have no idea what that is. Yeah. I don't know, maybe Ozone is the brand who manufactures the air freshener. I bought my own air purifier at a thrift shop, but it is kind of small. And I'm only running it late at night because I signed up for an electric plan that gives discounted electricity at night.
Oh,
It
nice.
charges double between like 2 and 9 in the afternoon, which is peak hours.
That
but-
sounds like a scam, but
The only electricity I use during that time is my computer, which is not much. So, you know, as long as I'm not a dumbass like I was just now, starting the washing machine at 7, I was supposed to wait till 9. Actually, I guess I could just open the lid. Yeah, and it'll stop. But I've been making a habit of only running the laundry and the dishwasher after 9 p.m. And between midnight and 6 a.m., the first 400 kilowatt hours per month of electricity are free, or some number like that. So I set the air freshener to only run from like 12:05 to 5:50. And it does have a little button on it with a symbol that kind of implies ions and lights up blue. But I don't know if that actually does anything.
you can probably look it up. Manufacturer.
Yeah. So, you know those tiny refrigerators that everybody's selling now?
I don't know about everybody selling them now, but okay.
I started seeing them pop up in a lot of stores, and apparently I'm not the only one, because there's a YouTuber whose video was recommended to me about it, where he goes in for over an hour explaining in extreme scientific detail that they're a bad investment.
It's kind of cool.
In their case, it is they use something called a Peltier cooler, which sounds like magic when you first learn what it is and how it works. It is somewhat like a photodiode, and if you run electricity through it, it gets colder, almost as if violating the laws of thermodynamics. The catch is it gets colder on one side, but on the other side it gets hot.
Oh,
And it, of course, gets more hot than it does cold because of thermodynamics. So the way the refrigerators work is they put a little square of this Peltier cooler element on the back wall of the refrigerator, and then they run all day, and it gets cold-ish inside the refrigerator, and then they've got a computer fan on the back to blow out all the exhaust heat.
that's the fucking computer fan to blow out the exhaust heat is so utterly ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's not literally a computer fan, but it's.
I'm just saying that those
you
aren't
got the
very
picture,
good.
right? It's tiny. Yeah, it's very. It reminded me of a computer fan because it's got like the little metal heat sink with the fins and yeah. And the fridge uses like 20 watts or something continuously because it's not a real refrigerator and it's not adequately insulated to maintain its own internal temperature. And because it's so small, as it has to be in order for it to even work in the first place, because the cooling element is so weak, it doesn't have a lot of thermal mass, so it cannot turn off and then stay cool for a while the way a normal refrigerator can. So the guy was emphatic, like, if you want a tiny refrigerator, buy a tiny refrigerator.
Right.
It'll be a little bit larger, but it'll be way better. And then he like went into all this detail about this experiment he ran where he like measured the power output or the power consumption of a miniature refrigerator versus this Peltier refrigerator over the course of a day, and found that the Peltier refrigerator is more energy efficient while the pump is running. But in any not shit refrigerator, the pump is not usually running, and the average power consumption was like 5 watts. Oh, I have a feeling that there's probably at least potential for a very similar video about ion air purifiers. But I figure maybe I'll be lucky and it actually does generate ions that will react with the tobacco fuel molecules and destroy them.
Sounds scientifically sound.
Well, you know, ion-free radicals are very good at destroying human flesh, so why not tobacco smoke? I figured, you know, for $12, it was not that bad. And I get to keep the air purifier, you know, it's not like I'm paying a fee. So if I only run it when the electricity is free, then I'm not having to pay to fix my apartment's odor problem. I wanted a miniature air conditioner anyway, so that during the hot months I can just air condition right where I'm sitting instead of the whole building and save a ton of money. Because I've got a heater that does that. So when it's cold, I can just put it next to the desk or next to the bed. I don't have an inverse heater.
Are you fucking kidding me? Holy
The problem is
shit.
a heater will pull energy out of the wall and pump it into the room. When you're cooling something, the waste heat has to go somewhere and you can't put it back into the wall.
Although I think what I want would be a cool
First
craft project.
off, Ray, can you hear Tim?
No. Hi, Tim.
Hi,
Really? You can't hear
Alex,
that?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't. How else would I know you were here?
I don't know, maybe I'm just really quiet and you were listening and
Oh.
Ray wasn't?
Ow.
That's fair.
No, it's my Discord client. It says browsers require user interaction before they will play audio. So I guess Tim's audio counts as additional audio,
I guess.
not included in the audio I'm already getting to hear Alex. Weird way to do it, but okay. Yeah, I clicked the button and now I can hear Tim.
Okay, hi.
Cool.
Yeah, I stopped using the Discord desktop client because the Discord desktop client is just a rectangle with the Discord web app in it, except it can also like send you pop-up notifications and stores a bunch of cruft on your computer.
And also,
I'm like,
you
Why
tend
don't
to
I
like
just get
other
a
programs
rectangle
that,
and put the web app in it?
yeah, you tend to enjoy other whatever those are called, because they tend to have a lot of extra features that you like fiddling around with to get specific.
And they don't have the so-called features that are counterproductive and
Right.
bad and annoying.
Yeah.
Like updating all the damn time. Like when I run the Discord web app, it just loads whatever is the current version of the Discord web app in 1 second. It doesn't have to install anything. And because it's the web app, it can only store data in my browser cache.
But is it more
Although
resource
yesterday
efficient than the app?
On Friday. Friday, I was horrified to discover that the Discord web app is capable of causing blue screen crashes. I had never seen that before. Hopefully, it will not happen again. But that was shocking. I reacted to a message and then I decided I wanted to react with a different reaction. So I unreacted and then I hit the reaction button again. And apparently I did that too fast and my computer blue screened. It's just disturbing that was possible.
Did you hear what I said about desktop air conditioners?
No.
So a desktop heater basically works by pulling energy out of the wall and pumping it into the room.
Yeah.
An air conditioner, it technically still makes more heat than it makes cold, but it controls where that heat goes so you feel cold. Usually
Yeah,
it
yeah,
pumps the waste heat
moving
outside the
device.
house, but if you put it on your desk, then it's just pumping it back into the room.
That's fair. And that's another thing I've been finding them selling everywhere is these tiny little cube things, which I didn't even know, but I found out. I didn't know for a while, but apparently you have to fill them with water for them to work.
Oh, swamp coolers, yeah.
Yeah, so like, wait.
Those
that's
don't work
just-
in the south.
So it's just a fan with water?
Yeah, it's a fan with water. It works great in the north. It works great in the west. It does not work in the southeast. It's too humid down here.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that to work anywhere. So
No, it
okay.
does. Forcing the water to evaporate forces it to pull energy out of the air and makes it cooler and more humid. So, like I said, in the desert, it works. In the north, it works. Down here, not so much. It's called a swamp cooler. We got plenty of swamp as it is.
Yeah, that. No, I decided I'm not going to buy one of those.
Yeah,
The-
no,
the thing
I've got
got
one.
is,
It's junk.
Different kind of device. Yeah, like they started popping up in large numbers in the thrift stores, and I guess that's an indication that people bought them and then found out they were bad.
Yeah. Walmart sells them.
Right.
I have no idea why. It's a complete waste of money down here.
That's why
Walmart also sells sleds. I guess that's the answer to that question.
You know, I kind of needed an ice scraper a couple weeks ago. It was hot during the Pride Festival, and then on Tuesday, 2 days after the Pride Festival, I tried to go to work and my car was frozen.
That is surprising.
Yeah. But then a couple days later, it got hot again.
Now, was it frozen or was it just a little frosty?
I get it was a little frosty is what you would say. But I couldn't see through the windshield, so I had to find something to rub against it. I could open the door, so it's not like it was frozen in a block of ice, but
Yeah.
there was ice on the car. Therefore, it's frozen.
An ice scraper is useful in cases like that, but it's not 100% necessary. You can also just spend 5 minutes, running the heater on your car.
Or somewhat more than 5 minutes in the case of an old Prius. But yeah, I found a makeshift ice scraper.
Yeah, an old credit card you don't use anymore works just as well.
I was fortunate enough to find something larger than a credit card. That would have taken a while.
It would, but it works.
I'd be like a tank driver that's just like looking through a tiny little slot in the front to figure out where I'm going. It
Yeah,
was like
it's-
that at first because like I still couldn't see the mirrors, so I just kind of had to hope that there wasn't any oncoming traffic when I left the neighborhood. Scary. Speaking of tanks, why don't tanks have like a bunch of screens on the inside with little tiny cameras on the outside so that you can see everything?
Because the last tank we have was designed in the 80s, and that's like late 90s, early 2000s technology.
But it can be retrofitted. You glue a little camera on the outside and you wire it into a screen that you stick on the inside. Like, I feel like it's not a terribly expensive thing to rig up.
One, you would be amazed how expensive things get when the government gets involved. Two, the government is not actually interested in making tanks that are good for warfare. Tanks these days are basically just job programs for whatever state the manufacturing is in.
That Tough SF Discord that you keep telling me you won't join has a lot of military, like either military aficionados or people who have some actual experience, and they at least have an inside scoop on knowledge of warfare, and it paints a pretty clear picture that the only thing in which anyone wants to invest any money is missiles.
That's an oversimplification, but there is some truth to it.
Yeah, they also think that proton fusion is impossible. Artificial proton fusion, you know. But I'm thinking, if stars have been doing it for billions of years, that indicates that it is possible.
Stars have somewhat more in terms of natural resources to work with than we do, or at least different.
Yeah, so that's why my hunch is that the missing ingredient in our current fusion endeavors is scale. We need to make bigger reactors.
My hunch is the missing ingredient is gravity.
Or what? Pressure?
Mainly, yeah. Just needing to get more pressure on the ingredients than we can feasibly generate on Earth, or even in space for that matter, without expending more energy to create the pressure than we generate from the fusion.
Yeah. How? I opened the lid of the washing machine so that it would stop. The machine decided after a few minutes that it was going to automatically pump out all the water. Oh. Now I have to start over again. Wasted all the soap.
Rude.
Yeah. Bruh.
Yeah, what stars have that we don't is...
Specifically so that it would stop running. Are you saying something?
Yeah, what stars have that we don't is an excess of ambient pressure.
Yeah, which gives them an extremely long confinement time.
Oh, I'm so fucked.
So I'm thinking if we make a reactor that's bigger, it will be able to put more pressure in the core, and there will be more room for the ingredients to expand without expanding to the point of losing criticality.
Pressure
Also,
scales pretty linearly. If you make a bigger vessel, then you need an equal amount more energy to pressurize it.
Oh yeah, that too. But it does reduce the structural load on the outside of the reactor where the magnets are. Because apparently the field strength and the stress on the magnets and the size are related such that for a given field strength, you have to make it bigger to reduce the stress. And a lot of fusion reactors have been optimized for making the field as small as possible in order to concentrate it to get maximum field strength at the point of fusion, which is how magnetized target fusion reactors work. But those have a habit of exploding immediately. And I'm thinking it's probably not going to be all that cost effective if the only way to run the reactor is to create magnetized pellets with, like, you know, a special manufacturing process to get them to work properly and then blow them up every time.
I am not, as I thought, fucked. So, we're all good here.
I've been trying to design a spaceship for my sci-fi story, and I ended up doing a lot of reading about potential fusion applications. because I don't want to involve magic, and I don't want to depend on antimatter, particularly because what I've read recently about antimatter seems to indicate that doesn't save me any work. Apparently in the foreseeable future, only viable way of storing antimatter is in the form of frozen hydrogen, anti-hydrogen in this case. And that means for a spaceship, I'd either have to carry a giant ball of frozen solid anti-hydrogen or a whole bunch of little ones. And in the latter case, it seems very inefficient because like each pellet has a hull of regular matter around it, so the mass ratio is garbage. And in the former case, I have a giant ball of ice in the ship, which means if I make a sharp turn, it will slam against the wall.
I think the main reason things aren't made out of hydrogen, things don't use hydrogen in general, is because the mass ratio for fuel versus what you need to properly contain the fuel is garbage.
Oh, yeah. For regular hydrogen right now, the low density is an issue. For antimatter, that problem's already been solved 10,000 times over. You know, it's antimatter. Your energy density is enormous.
Sad. No hitting times 10 to the, 20 whatever. I did that other time.
You tried.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Rude.
Though it does throw some it does damp the realism and plausibility of the ISV Venture Star from the Avatar movies, because supposedly that thing runs on antimatter, a shitload of antimatter, and even with a huge amount of infrastructure, mining or generating enough antimatter to run a ship of that size seems wildly impractical.
Okay, but this is the same ship that got launched across the stars in search of unobtainium.
Yes, unobtainium is a transparent handwave. You get one. You're not allowed to also handwave cheap antimatter.
Well, they did.
Yeah, which that's a point against them, you know?
Yeah, but also you didn't catch it until now.
Handwave. Like, I didn't catch it because I wasn't researching antimatter. But other people did, which is how I found the information.
Okay, I am going to...
Like, it got a lot of points for things it didn't handwave, like heat radiators.
I'm going to drop Balatro, since I won that previous round. And... yeah, who am I kidding? I'm going to test out how it fares with Path of Exile. This might go badly.
Good luck. So for my design, one of the priorities was not doing the thing where if something goes wrong, they have to euthanize all the passengers. Because for anything other than a mercantilist colonization vessel for exploiting mineral wealth, that's just a terrible, terrible idea. So it has this problem where when the engines are running, in order for it to accelerate forward, the shield is behind the ship, which means it's not protecting the ship from interstellar dust. So it'll explode if they run into anything. like a piece of sand.
They just fly backwards. Problem solved.
Well, it does fly backward, but then the engines are pointed forward. So if they turn on the engines, it slows down, which is good in the second half of the trip. But during the first half of the trip, they have a problem.
There's a whole load engineer.
So one of the primary features in the design that I came up with was have a movable shield that you take off the ship and put on the front, and then when you want to turn around, you detach the shield, turn around, and then put the shield on the new front. But then I was like, while you're turning around, the ship will be oriented sideways, which means most of it still won't be protected. So I added a shield that unfolds into a really long, wide shield so that you can keep the ship safe and not get the crew, like, full of radiation, which would be bad.
I mean, do you really need to keep the crew alive? They already paid for their tickets.
Yes. Because my plan is to get the crew where they're going in good health, not to make money from tickets. I have different priorities. Oh, yeah, it's a much bigger ship and and in order to be more comfortable. Based on the math I did, everybody gets the equivalent of a 100 square foot apartment for a cabin. And
Local.
with an estimated 50,000 passengers, the ship is roughly the size of a city.
How much was that per passenger?
100 square feet.
Also, what city?
Depends how you measure. I sketched out the hull in Blender, and it's very, very large. It's about 3 Star Destroyers in length.
Yes. The perfect excuse to see Danik.
At some point, swing by the stream and let me know how it looks.
Okay. Guess I'm not doing laundry right now. It looks like I have not opened the stream. Nah.
Bye now.
It looks good.
Okay.
Very
I'll see.
very HD and crisp.
I'll have to see how it looks and plays when I am hitting a busy section.
So this
Uh-oh.
is the second game?
No, second is not out yet. That is
Oh.
18 days. And I continue
I was
to
gonna
be
say it looks the same.
I continue to be extremely excited. No.
Engineer
No.
reporting.
Will you do me a favor and watch the thing that I posted earlier? I'm going to pull it up on the stream. I'm going to pull it up on the stream.
Options, sound.
Doo-doo-doo.
Yeah, I didn't see you post anything.
And pride and accomplishment. Give me a sec. Doo-doo. Browser source. Wait, no. Window capture. Oh, I already had one.
I don't see it. Oh.
I know.
Oh, the Brazilian developers.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking like that's probably more developers than they need.
Haha. It was good. I appreciate that.
Have you seen the memes going around about how Call of Duty 5 will cost over $1.15 billion, making it the most expensive video game ever? And
No.
the memes like, wow, and I thought $69.99 was a lot. Guess I'm not gonna play COD 5. or not Call of what's the other
Black Ops 6.
It's the one where you used Grand Theft Auto 5. That's the one I meant, not Call of Duty.
Okay, you got the stream up?
Yeah.
Hopefully audio comes through just fine. And you don't even have to worry about the subtitles. They're just, like I said, they're just talking about work they've done on the game and how much they are enjoying.
Detailed high polygon environment.
But they'll cut to gameplay and it's just...
Os esqueletos do objeto. Eu vim para Nova Zelândia para estudar em 2018.
Really
meu
pretty.
professor acabou me indicando para uma posição aqui e eu passei. Uma das coisas
good
que eu
at,
fiz
like,
no Path of Exile 2, que foi assim o meu favorito.
I like how they gave that guy a
foi
giant dong.
Que é rato. E são vários ratos saindo de grande rato. Construí vários tipos de físicas para quando o rato sair, o rabinho mexer de uma certa forma, e foi bem divertido. Trabalhar no Path of Exile 2 é muito mais rápido por causa da tecnologia, um pouco mais avançada, então acaba que a gente consegue fazer umas coisas mais loucas com o Path of Exile 2 em comparação.
Look at this
se
gameplay.
Você já jogou ou não o Path of Exile 1, quando você abre o Path of Exile 2 é muito diferente. Tem assim ainda o mesmo charme do Path of Exile 1, mas é um jogo muito bonito de ver, e a gente trabalhou, né, com muito carinho e amor pra estar bonitinho assim. Para os fãs brasileiros, né, agradecer aí o apoio, eu espero que vocês saibam que tem BR aqui. Para os meus amigos e família, um beijo. Um beijo.
Oops.
Eu faço VFX ou efeitos visuais pro Path of Exile 2. Eu tenho trabalhado principalmente nas skills de player, fazendo todas as novas skills aí e existentes também. Antes de vir pra GVG, eu já trabalhava com VFX para jogos, e então foi uma transição bem fácil. Eu acho que a evolução dos efeitos que a gente tem feito pro jogo, comparado com o primeiro, tem bastante tecnologia nova, bastante interação nova. Muitos dos materiais que a gente usa agora são mais realistas, então isso bem legal essa parte. Uma das coisas favoritas que eu trabalhei foi justamente as classes novas,
I like the real-time lighting.
Novos também, por exemplo, as artes marciais pro monge, ou então
the whole thing kind of has a plastic look, right? From what I've seen, like it looks like a
in all fairness,
in
all fairness, probably shouldn't be watching it over stream because that's obviously going to affect the quality a bit. But,
no, it's not that. No, it's shader fidelity, which is resolution independent.
Yeah, no, it's definitely still going to have a
the cave wall looks like a plastic cave wall that was painted to look like a cave wall so that they could film a TV show about caves. You know?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
It's like how cosplay armor, it can look good in photos if you get it just right, but when you see it out at the convention, it always just kind of looks like shiny plastic or shiny foam core.
Bye now.
Like you never actually get the authentic metal look unless you're wearing authentic metal.
I kind of agree with you, yeah.
But I hope it holds up, you know, when it comes out. It'd be nice to have a game with a pretty looking gameplay trailer that is not a disappointment. So much crap on the floor.
Engineer.
It's mostly shoes.
Phew.
So
I ended up with this many shoes. It's crazy.
This character Isla is definitely autistic, but there's a couple lines here when you stop talking to her that just solidify that so well. So like you talk to her and she's like, "Oh hey," and then when you leave she goes, "Whew." Or when you talk to her and then when you leave she goes, "Good job, Isla," like congratulating herself for succeeding at a social interaction.
She has anxiety.
You know, it's like, I did a good job talking there.
Yes, now let's see if I gained any XP. That's what they should do. They should act like they're also playing a video game. There's I forget what it's called, but there's a webtoon about someone who runs a bar in a fantasy world, and it's from the perspective of this lady who runs a bar in a fantasy world. But then these adventurers come by every once in a while, and they act very strangely, and some supernatural-looking things seem to happen to them sometimes.
Ah.
And they're constantly talking about stuff that none of the bartender and none of her friends have any idea what any of this is supposed to mean.
And I'm guessing, of course,
it's cute.
It turns out that
she's an
NPC. Yeah.
But her world, to her, is real, and so it's written as such. Like, yeah, there's one page where an adventurer is demonstrating a bug that lets him clip through the floor, and she's just watching in horror as this guy is just clipping through a solid object.
That's amazing.
Yep. Yeah, best not spend more time around adventurers than you have to. They're a pretty spooky bunch sometimes. Yeah, I thought it was mostly shoes, but I guess that was by volume, not by quantity. 'Cause now I've picked up most of the shoes pretty quickly, and
that I wanted.
the floor seems just as messy.
It seems to have run away. Oh well.
A lot of plastic bags.
Phew.
Oh, hey, my razor. I've been wondering what happened to this. And you know how they say it's in the last place you look?
Yeah.
You ever have that thing where, like, you can't find something, so you look in a place that you think it's likely to be and confirm that it's not there, and then you look everywhere else and you can't find it anywhere else either? You check that obvious place again, because you're like, maybe I missed it the first time, and you doubly confirm it's not there.
And then it turns out it's there anyway.
And then you check 3, 4, and 5 times in that spot until you're like so sure that you're insane for looking there anymore, and you gotta stop yourself from looking there because you know it's not there.
Yeah.
And then weeks later, it turns up in that exact spot.
You moved it there in your sleep, or something that borrowed it, put it back there.
Like fucking Fight Club or something, you know, where it's like when I think I'm asleep, I actually wake up as my evil self who wants to fuck up my life.
Back to work.
I'm gonna turn off the alarm and hide all the shoes. I'm gonna take all that important paperwork and mix it up in other papers so you won't be able to find it.
Alright.
Infuriating. Like, I finally found my flash drive. It went missing in January. Found it in like July or August. And you know where it was? The first place I had looked for it. And I had looked in that place thoroughly at least 3 separate times. Like, I distinctly recall that it was in a specific pocket in a specific backpack, and I looked there and I stuck my hand in and I rubbed it all around the inside of the pocket, and I looked, and it was I saw the entire empty inside of the pocket without any objects in it. It's like like Arietti the borrower took it for something to use as a chair. And then it's like, all right, I'm done with this 6 months later.
That was a very good borrower's reference.
Oh, you said borrowers first, or you said something about borrowing.
I said something borrowed it, yeah.
Not bad, not bad.
Like fairies or something. And then I'm like, wait, wasn't there a movie about that?
Let's make some.
I'm surprised I remembered. Seems like the sort of thing where I would normally draw a blank and be like, you know, that one movie with the tiny people. But it's not.
Have you seen the anime version?
Is there a not anime version?
Yeah, it's based off of a different movie, which may in turn be based off of a book. I'm not sure. But the anime version is gorgeous and adorable.
Yes, the Ghibli film, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was referencing.
It's fucking gorgeous.
Godslayer.
Yeah, I tried to watch it, and like I agree it was gorgeous, but that'll make me get invested in like a picture or a short video clip of like 30 seconds.
Instability in this map.
But if it's gonna be a feature-length film, it needs stuff to happen that I find entertaining.
I don't know how violence can solve
the movie didn't shine in that respect.
But I'm sure you'll find a way.
Which I suppose wasn't the point. That's my excuse for not having watched the whole thing.
Game poking fun at you here. The guy goes, "We're detecting instability in this map, and not the usual kind, because it's like special content in the map. It's reading like a breach in the very fabric of reality. I don't know how violence can solve such a problem, but I'm sure you'll find a way." I've been watching this whole, or rather listening to, this whole lore series to both refresh myself on lore about the game that I did know and to pick up on little bits that I didn't know before PoE 2 comes out. And one of the things that keeps getting ground in as she's talking about it, and that she has been pointing out as well, is that the characters we play are not good people. Like, theoretically, we could be.
I've loved for years about EVE Online is that they lean into that. Like
theoretically, we could be, but
terrible.
All evidence points to the fact that we are just trying to get more powerful, which lots of the things that we fight ended up being evil because of that exact decision.
When I'm ready.
It's like we're always just on the edge of becoming insane.
Yeah, in EVE Online, like the player characters are basically Elon Musk. Like they're on one hand they're like demigods that people think are brilliant geniuses who have abilities nobody understands, but on the other hand, they're like selfish and unstable, and constantly fucking things up for everybody with reckless disregard for the consequences.
Reckless Disregard is a good band name. Or band.
I don't remember most of what he said, but I recall something about wanton violence. So I'm gonna do that.
Wait, what were you referencing?
8-bit theater.
Oh, yes.
Black made, I think, Dream or something, where he like gets a divine warning that's like, you can't solve this problem with your usual strategy of wanton violence. And when he wakes up, the only part he remembers is that wanton violence was mentioned.
Yeah.
Tries to something about a Hadoken. I don't remember most of the context, just the punchlines.
The punchline is Hadoken is just half of 8-bit theater.
Basically, yes.
Luckily, not literally half, but.
Oh, so that page I was reading about antimatter had a reference to Schlock Mercenary in it.
Whoa, nice.
And not just like as a meme, I mean like as a scientific citation. It's like, this webcomic shows a way that you could store anti-hydrogen by using fullerenes. Like,
that's
wait a
awesome.
minute. I know that webcomic.
I need to see if there's a scientific analysis video for the teleport. It's the teleportation system that has you,
I read the comic.
Oh, okay.
You and Tim wore me down eventually, and I read it.
I forgot.
I'm not a fan of the teleport.
Why? This doesn't make any sense.
It's better than some transporter solutions. At least with the teleport, your like actual matter gets transmitted. as opposed to the Star Trek version, which just kills you and then transmits information about who you were to a computer that replicates a new you that believes it's you, but some kind of hand wave in the lore says that it does count as the real you.
Which also gets addressed in Schlock Mercenary.
Yeah. And I think Next Generation has an episode where they find Scotty from the original series has been living in a transporter buffer for like 30 years.
Yep.
Or, you know, if you could call that living. Like, you know what that is, right? That's a Pokeball. They've invented Pokeballs.
Technically, they invented Pokeballs before Pokemon did.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm fine with shitting on Pokemon in that conflict and siding with Star Trek. Star Trek was a good thing. It was pure and hopeful and wholesome, and it dreamed of a better world where people's accomplishments in life are due to the content of their character.
Next Generation did that.
And
the original did too.
The Next Generation did a lot of the legwork, yeah.
People were mostly good, and then all of the various threats that they face out in the universe were representations of what people actually do.
Yeah. Pokemon, on the other hand, dreams of a world in which children are sent away from home at tender ages to make a living through dogfighting.
It's okay, the dogs like fighting.
Sure. That excuses everything.
I'm just saying that's
there people are like,
people
fighting.
Like, the Pokemon like fighting. Yeah, people are like, the Pokemon like fighting. It's like, you just translate that to dogs. It's like,
yeah. Or
most people would
elves.
think you picked up for saying that.
I don't know how that did not, like... I must have been stunningly ignorant when I read the Harry Potter books in order to read that whole passage about house elves actually liking being slaves and not instantly see the book as incredibly problematic.
Yeah.
Like, even if your intentions are pure and you're like, what if I invent a fantasy world in which, unlike real slaves, they actually like being slaves?
Oh yeah, it happens all the time. They're called slave races.
It's not really a thing that can be done. Yeah, and like, it never works.
What never works?
The slave race trope.
No, it works if you are...
Not being analyzed to the point of turning out to be problematic.
Right, and that's the thing, is it works if you are using it with full knowledge of, and yes, this is not something everyone should be comfortable with.
Yes, a trope can be applied as a tool to illustrate something bad, but in Rowling's case, it was not, is my point. It never works as a thing which is actually good in the setting.
Well, even Rowling, in the setting, admits that it's probably not good by making Hermione be so opposed to it, but then it just kind of shits all over Hermione trying to stop it.
Exactly. Hermione clearly is not a reflection of the author's opinions.
Exactly.
In fact, you know, later revelations about Rowling's character seem to indicate that Hermione is a caricature of the type of people she hates.
Ooh. Interesting.
You know, most of my adult life, suppose. Well, I don't know. See, the word choice is important here. There are people J.K. Rowling hates. And then there are objects she doesn't consider people.
Oof.
No, someone can't be a person you hate if you don't consider them a person. Just got really political really fast.
Oh, someone brought up Harry Potter.
It kind of did when you brought up Rowling.
Yeah.
It was me. It's my fault. I have no filter for that sort of thing. Most of the practice I've had in my adult life of doing literary analysis has been done on Family Guy.
On the way out.
Thanks to your...
Okay, what are we heading here for? Oh, it's fine. We'll have a stash at the end.
I had a class once where we were supposed to write papers on a dysfunctional family from some like media franchise, and I was the only one in the class who wrote about Family Guy, which was surprising to me at the time, because I thought surely more people know about Family Guy. It works really well for this prompt. They're a textbook dysfunctional family. And then I look back again as I'm older, I'm like, they're not just a textbook dysfunctional family, they're the textbook dysfunctional family. There was like no thought put into the character archetypes here. Like, Chris, the golden boy, literally has gold hair. Like, it couldn't, I think in order to be on the nose, I think Meg would have to literally be a black sheep.
What's Brian's
in retrospect,
caricature?
I'm even more. I don't know. I don't remember. But it's something very obvious. My opinion remains that most of the characters voiced by Seth MacFarlane are Seth MacFarlane. There's some facet of him, or how he thinks the world sees him, or how he sees himself. I think Brian is how Seth MacFarlane thinks other people think his politics are.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I heard something recently that's very similar cosmetically, but not in terms of analysis. The voice actor who did Olaf in Frozen has said one of his greatest regrets in life is not putting some kind of accent on Olaf. He just used his actual voice, and now he scares kids whenever he goes to the grocery store.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, Josh Gad. Absolutely.
That's not just cosmetically similar. From what clues I've managed to gather from reading into the script, I think that happens to Seth too. There's an episode which is framed as a live commentary of another Family Guy episode, which is not a real episode. The episode's a live commentary of itself. And the climax is that Seth MacFarlane and Alex Borstein, the actors for Peter and Lois, show up and start talking to their own characters.
Excellent.
And I think what's it? Peter's like, Peter mistakes Seth MacFarlane for Brian, I think. And then somebody else thinks he's the captain of the Orville. Who is, same guy.
Man, I don't fucking know.
And then at the end they explain how it's like, it's not that bad that they're not real people and they're fictional characters, because they get to have better lives than they would do in real life. Except for Meg, whose life is actually worse than Mila Kunis's. I thought it was cute. This is also why I've suspected for a while that Seth MacFarlane is an egg, is because of Ida. And Stewie, honestly.
Let's do business. You'll be back.
Wait, this never occurred to me before. Stewie's head is an elongated ellipsoid. He's an egg.
Yeah,
it's not a football at all.
1,000% not on purpose.
I know, but it's so perfect. It's serendipity. Oh no, I ran out of Coke.
I am never going to do this successfully.
Like, is there a rest of that sentence, or are you just taunting me that you're never going to run out of Coke?
I'm never going to successfully do one of these things. 20 seconds, Jesus. I don't know. This is the problem. Yeah, I don't know. It's garbage. It's fine. Oh, hey, that counted for that. That's nice at least. I shouldn't even bothered corrupting it.
I should try to go to bed early tonight. It's one of those days where I've been sleepy all day, so I know that when night comes around, I'm not going to be able to get any sleep until like 6 in the morning. And then I'll be late to work.
Yeah, don't be late to work.
Yeah, this has been happening a lot lately, and they keep saying no problem, don't worry about it, and I'm thinking,
Yeah, no, don't.
Let's do business.
I think it is a problem, and I should worry about it. You're just not telling me.
Hail!
Yeah, please. If you need any help with making that happen, let me know. I can bug you or just literally call you every day and say, hey.
That's the problem with me waking up in the mornings. It's that, like, yeah. I get really stubborn.
Hey.
Yeah, and if I call you and say, hey, like, I suppose you could just ignore the call, but...
Yeah, I'll ignore the call, or I'll talk to you, and you're not going to stay on the phone with me all day, which means sooner or later, you're going to hang up, and then I'll go back to sleep.
Yeah, no, I don't hang up until you are, like, up and moving, and, like, making food or something. That's the idea.
Yeah, I already have a wake-up call. It's at 9:45 every day. The company has a stand-up meeting where everybody talks about what they're doing. And I'm pretty decent at waking up and joining the chat room for that. But I keep having this problem where I fall asleep as soon as it's over.
Did you lay back down?
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta... I mean... What you need to do...
I'm too sleepy to not.
If you tell me that you won't do that, will you do it anyway?
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and kill the stream, by the way. Test stream has been successful.
You don't have to.